Welcome back, everyone. Red Devils talk. Out of Europe completely in a shockingly awful way. We're going to be speaking about that in today's video. Not something that I want to be speaking about and having to repeat myself again. I am truly hurt and I certainly do not like and do not feel somewhat remotely even attached to some of these players. Abysmal and dark, but subscribe to the channel. Drop a like, share it to your friends and family who support United. Thank you for your support. Thank you for joining me. Let's get into it. Kingsley Coman got the winner. A very good goal, but Onana could have come out. He could have closed the angles, but he rather went backwards. And it's an easy finish. There's literal kids who would score from the angle that Kingsley Coman, and the space that he had, and the size of the goal that was available for him to score. But throughout the entire game, Bayern Munich didn't even try. They didn't need to really go at it because we were not there. The players didn't look bothered. We weren't trying. There literally wasn't anything. Hoyland had absolutely no service. You see him in the thumbnail. But what is he supposed to do? What can he do if the wingers that he's playing with are playing for themselves, trying to dribble, trying to cut back, trying to cut inside to take a shot, but they're not trying to find him in the box and he's making the runs for them? How is McTominay starting again? I don't understand how that makes sense. How is McTominay starting? Somebody explain that to me, please. A liability in midfield, and yet he still starts. The experiment of him playing in midfield or being this midfielder that goes high does not work. When Mainu came on, you could see the instant difference in the way we played, and of course you could see the different quality that Mainu brings us. Now against Liverpool, you have to go with Amrabat and Mainu, but that's a game that I don't even want to be talking about, because what is the inevitability there? We are going to lose. Apologies for that. My phone decided to be ringing at the incorrect moment, but hey, Murphy's Law. You can't really control these type of things. But as I was saying, the inevitability of us going to Anfield looks like it's going to be a loss. And it might be a heavy loss. They could score more than 7 goals. That's how open our midfield is. If these players give up again, if they decide to be not bothered like they were last night against Bayern Munich, we probably could be looking at this game as a loss. And I'm not just saying that to be negative. That is the reality. It's what we have to watch. It's seeing players not wanting to run, not wanting to fight, not wanting to show some urgency, not wanting to try. That in itself is a problem, and it's hurtful to see. Our rivals mock us, but there are a few rival fans that understand the pain that we are going through. I remember myself, back then making fun of Liverpool when they were busy losing to the likes of Stoke City, and lower clubs, in my opinion. But there was a sense of, you could see what there was trying to be done. You could see there was a change in the way they were trying to play, the direction that they were trying to go. We are a mess. What do we have? What direction is our club going into? Sir Jim's thing goes from 1 week to the next and now into the new year to be sorted. You have the likes of Sancho and Greenwood situation. Anthony had a situation and he's back in the team, but he's still not producing. You have the likes of Martial and Rashford that are throwing attitudes and are not performing well. You have all the injuries, up to 25 injuries now, with Maguire and Shaw. Shaw injured again, but Maguire getting an injury. There just doesn't seem to be a break for Ten Hag. And now, on top of that, the Telegraph, James Ducker, comes out and says that we are going to be losing 28 million pounds, and that will put Erik ten Hag under pressure. The likes of Relevo is basically reporting this nonsense of the likes of Zinedine Zidane, Julian Lopetegui, Wolves' ex-manager, Roberto De Zerbi, Brighton's current manager, and Graham Potter all being looked at as options to replace Erik ten Hag. And then James Ducker again reports that the Man United board want to appoint the new manager before the January transfer window, replacing Ten Hag within less than a month for the window in January to do what? I thought we had no money. And if a new manager comes in, how is that going to make sense? How are they going to bring in a manager in less than a month before a transfer window? And that cannot happen, because then we're going to have the same players getting more opportunities and they're going to try for like 3 or 4 months and then give up if they don't like the manager. If they have to work extra hard to go another level up, they're going to hate the manager. They're going to find excuses, and again, we are going to be in the same trap, and the same cycle is going to be repeated. I'm even tired of talking about the same thing again. It is annoying and so difficult to have to see our team not doing what we expected to do. We have injuries, yes, but it's no excuse not to perform to at least your best. Show fight and urgency. The way Copenhagen played against Galatasaray, you would swear that they had more to play for than just qualifying for the knockout rounds. I mean, Galatasaray didn't really, threaten them as much, because I was trying to see exactly would the miracle happen. Would we actually get a win and then get a draw on the other side? No. After the first 20 minutes, I immediately saw, now we ain't scoring a goal. And that is what happened. We were toothless in the attack, looking lost when we find ourselves in the final third. And there were moments when we played some good football, but we just lack quality. We have players that are not technically good enough to fulfill a certain role and perform a certain task tactically. You cannot expect McTominay to be on the ball and help dictate the play like Amrabat tries to do. You cannot have the likes of Garnacho and Anthony on either wing, but they're not crossing the ball or trying to find their striker. You can't have the likes of Bruno on the field and every pass he tries to make goes haywire because he's in a rush with it. He's not going to be there against Liverpool. So who's going to be that, shall I say, influential attacker that's going to spark our attacks, that's going to play that pass that can easily, be unpredictable? That is why I say against Liverpool, we are going to be having problems. And if Ten Hag continues to play McTominay in midfield, a loss is going to be the result. And we are going to be conceding quite a few goals because Liverpool and Klopp are a professional team. They will go at us, they will fight, they will show their fans, and they're playing at Anfield, and they will want to be ruthless. And if they smell blood, they are definitely going to want to eat us alive. And you know what? It happened already. You know the 7-0 happened. And they could have scored more than 7, if not for certain moments of them lacking in a finish or De Gea making a save. I mean, look at Onana for Kingsley Coman's goal. I said he could have come out. He alone himself probably cost us Champions League qualification with the errors that he made alone in goal. Being a Man United goalkeeper is not easy. And there you can see it. He made mistake after mistake in the Champions League, and now we are out of Europe completely. It's looking bleak and dark, and Ten Hag is under pressure. In my opinion, he shouldn't be sacked. He should still stay as manager of Man United. These players need to be held accountable first before we even look at trying to replace Ten Hag. These type of reports of new managers always come out after a loss. Where was that when we won Chelsea? There wasn't anything to speak about because we won and there were quite a few positives. But because we're so inconsistent, because these players throw in the towel and will put the manager and sack him like they want to, that is literally why these reporters feed off this. And if the club goes ahead and sacks Ten Hag, and if it happens after Liverpool, if we lose, when we lose, no matter how you look at it, and Mourinho was sacked after Liverpool, it's the same cycle that's going to be repeated. Whatever manager they try to bring in, whether it's an interim, whether it's one of the managers that was mentioned in the report by James Ducker, it doesn't matter. the cycle will be repeated again where these players try and then decide to give up. The only way this is going to be solved and solutions will be made is when the ownership and structure is changed. We are in this mess, and some of the messes are our own fault. We created our own problems. Yes, it starts at the top by the Glazers where the rot and the toxicity starts, but there are other things that have been made by ourselves. Certain recruitment moments have been bad. That is our fault. And it's not a very good recruitment team, and they haven't been recruiting well, but that is our problem. Nobody outside of the club had anything to do with who we recruited as players. The likes of Martial, etc., Di Maria, Falcao, Igalo, etc., all of those players, nobody outside the club had anything to do with that. That was the recruitment team. When certain managers wanted certain players, that was the recruitment team that was giving them those players. Yes, the Glazers were not helping by giving second, third, fourth options and not the first choice like the managers wanted, but that was a problem by ourselves, and now we are seeing the mistakes come to its fruition. Nobody's fault but ours. And we have to accept that this is our reality. We are a mess, as you see in the thumbnail. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. That's exactly the truth. But I thank you guys for joining me. I'm tired of talking about these negative things about the club. I just want some positivity. I just want some form of respite, a bit of a break. But it just looks worse and worse. And it's, as I keep saying, going to be a very tough season. But thank you for joining me. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel. And of course, we'll see each other again soon, Red Devils. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. If you want more content on Manchester United, like, share and subscribe.